This dive trip begins with a stay at this hotel, Casa del Mar Cozumel. And very conveniently located right next to it is this dive operator, Cozumel Marine World. It really is quite a nice operation. The island of Cozumel and its waters is very popular amongst divers. You run across many interesting sea creatures here, one such being this yellow stingray. Or you'll see an eye-catching coral reef formation that you just have to take a picture of. At the other end of the scale are enormous ancient reef structures that strike a little bit of wonderment as you swim through them. And there's everything in between these two extremes. Cozumel is noted for its gentle, relaxing drift dives. The drift average is about 3 kilometers an hour, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. However, I've been told that there is a site that you can speed along at over 6 kilometers an hour. The reef induces somewhat of a drag on the current. The closer you are to the reef, the slower you will go. As you can see, I'm overtaking this diver because I'm a little further away from the reef. How you drift is whatever spins your fins. Vertically, sitting, backwards, upside down, on your back, resting, kicking to speed yourself along faster, or sideways, which I think most prefer, where you can watch what's going on in the reef. Ledges are always cool to look under. Crossing paths here with a porcupine fish. Here's a porcupine fish in its defensive mode. This is at a different island in the Caribbean. It sure looks different when it puffs out to extend its spikes. As it perceives less danger, it slowly deflates and returns to its normal shape and smoothness. And here a beautiful gray angelfish comes into view as I zip by. Well, that was quick. But once you get off the flats and in between the enormous reefs, the current disappears. But now I have to move under my own power. But that's okay. I can take a little more time to investigate whatever catches my eye. Such as this little cave that's coming up. I wish I had taken my dive light and investigated what was lurking back in there, but I didn't. So on I go. It's quite relaxing to leisurely swim along these immense reefs. It's the coral polyps that built this reef. Tiny little coral polyps, secreting calcium carbonate, layer upon layer, year after year. Can't imagine how many years it took to build this reef, for this reef to reach this size. Must be in the thousands of years. These reefs have some interesting passageways. An intricate passageway such as this one here will test your diving skills. You'll soon find out how good your buoyancy control is when you navigate through it.
I could have
Here we are just about to drop in on a unique event that occurs only about once or twice a year. We're at the right spot at the right time. A barrel sponge spawning. Every barrel sponge is a hermaphrodite, meaning that they produce both eggs and sperm, although not necessarily at the same time. This particular barrel sponge is releasing sperm into the water column. Some interesting facts about this creature. Yes, I said creature. Sponges are animals, and this barrel sponge is an animal. An egg will hatch into a larva which will float around until it finds a nice spot to land and set up shop. Once it anchors itself down, it will begin the process of morphing into a barrel sponge. Under the right conditions, a barrel sponge can live over 1,000 years. In fact, in the Caribbean, there is one barrel sponge that has been estimated to be over 2,000 years old. For an animal, that's an amazing lifespan. I wish I could live that long. A really old barrel sponge can be 6 feet across at the top and almost 8 feet tall. And what do sponges do? They filter water. And a giant barrel sponge can filter over 1,000 gallons a day.
I could have. I could have. I could have.
A few seconds ago, did you notice the small black mass on the left side of the screen? That was a dark volcano sponge. We'll see another one in a moment. After exiting the reef passageways, you now hang along the wall of the reef, looking down into the depths. Here's another dark volcano sponge mass. You can see all the little volcanoes poking up from the mass. And the yellow sponge is easy to spot with its brilliant color. This filefish is looking for a little place to hide, but for some reason, whoops, decides, doesn't want to stay there. Every once in a while, come across a cushion sea star. It's always a delight to find a queen angelfish. They have such iridescent colors. And this dark brown individual with the orangey gold flecks in it, I think is a type of rope sponge. I'm always excited to run into a spotted eagle ray, as I did here. They're curious enough to come close, but still maintain a cautious distance. They have a beautifully colored spotted design on the top of their body, and a wingspan that can reach 3 meters. That's 10 feet. And an unusually long tail, longer than their body. They've also been seen frolicking and doing flying leaps out of the water. To find food, they'll dig in the sand with their shovel-shaped snouts. Generally, the spotted eagle ray prefers to constantly swim in the open ocean rather than lie idly in the sand, as many other ray types do. At the base of the tail where it meets the body, it has several venomous spines. Although the eagle ray is a gentle creature, it can hurt you if you annoy or harass it. Here is one fun fact about the spotted eagle ray. Rather than lay her eggs somewhere in the ocean, she keeps their eggs inside her body until they hatch. The eggs are free-floating inside her. There is no placental connection between her and the eggs within her. I spelled out the name here for this method of reproduction, but there's no way I'm going to pronounce it. Here we have an orange variation of the white-spotted filefish. And zipping by in the distance is an ocean triggerfish. Coming up, 3 brilliantly colored queen angelfish. Whoops, one just disappeared down a coral hole. Only 2 queen angelfish now left. They're quite stunning when the sun shines brightly through the water. Best of all, I enjoy wending my way through the intricate passageways of these enormous reefs. Ever so often you'll come across this odd couple. At the bottom there is the southern stingray, and just above him is the blackish fish called a barjack. This pair is searching and hunting for food. The stingray does all the work, digging through and rummaging through the sand, while the barjack is an opportunist, waiting to snatch whatever the stingray scares up. And where the pickings are easy, you're going to have competition for that prime spot. Here we have that barjack warding off a lot of contenders for that spot. One fun fact about the barjack fish is that when it's not feeding, its body is a silvery blue color with a black and blue stripe along the top of its back. But when it's in feeding mode, the jack turns almost black. The blue stripe along its back disappears. This is my favorite creature, my wife in the pink fins. She's with her instructor, Jackie, who's been training her for the open water certification course. Here they're taking a break from the coursework and just doing a fun swim around. Steep reef walls are exhilarating, but so are reef tunnels. Please, dive master, let's go through the tunnel, not around it. Pretty please, with sugar on top. It looks like we're going to go through it. Through the tunnel it is.
I could have. I could have. I could have.
We're back on a drift dive now, and it looks like we're coming up to a shoal of gruntfish sheltering under a reef ledge. Looks like the dive master found something. He's signaling to come and have a look. When you drop down behind the reef, the current dies out, so it's easy to swim up and see what's in there. It's a moray eel. How awesome is that? Here we have two types of grunts shoaling around. The ones with the blackish tails are the blue-striped grunts, and the others are the white grunts. And this fella is a stoplight parrotfish. They like to eat algae off the reef, keeping it healthy. Otherwise, if they didn't, algae would cover everything and smother the coral and the sponges. Now for an interesting fact about the stoplight parrotfish. They start off life as a female and end life as a male. And when they change sex, there's a dramatic change in their coloration. This female here will later in life turn into a male, just like this one, with a turquoise body and pinkish orange markings. This purple thing is an azure vase sponge. The dive master is pointing to a barracuda hanging in the current downdraft behind the reef. It looks like that diver is planning to drop down behind the reef and get out of the current. This blue tang zips across our path. This weirdly shaped fish is a type of boxfish named smooth trunkfish. Be very careful with him because he excretes on his skin a mucus that is very toxic. And this here is a gorgeous gray angelfish. And just above the gray angelfish is a black triggerfish, also called a black durgan. And what is fascinating about the black durgan is that it swims with its top and bottom fins at the back of its body instead of the side fins that are near its head. And to top off a dive, a pair of French angelfish.